This is the host of The Simpsons Did It podcast, here to talk to you about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. 1, it's free. 2, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast, all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor:/FM to get started. It's that time again. The time that The Simpsons did it.
Don't The Simpsons always do it?
Simpsons always do it every episode. I'm your host, Steven Skolansky.
I am your co-host, Robert Skolansky.
Oh my god, we are so close to number 10.
So close.
And so close to the season finale.
I know, it's crazy that their first season is only 13 episodes.
That's a standard. 10 to 13 is your pretty standard pilot season.
I suppose.
First season.
Yeah.
And they didn't know it was going to go this far. And, we're already at episode number 9.
Yeah.
So we're almost there. I mean, I feel like some people are like, aren't they supposed to go on like a winter hiatus or something? or summer break before coming back? But, we're not going anywhere. We're going to release The Simpsons every Sunday, like The Simpsons come out.
Yeah.
Except this time, we're going to be in your ears during the summer months. So you get Simpsons 52 weeks of the year, as opposed to only like 20 to 24.
Yeah. I mean, maybe every single week. I'm sure there might be a week or two where we take a hiatus. Maybe.
We'll see. We've been banking a lot of episodes to make sure that you get the full effect of The Simpsons did it every single week. So we're going to try to keep that up, try to sustain it, maybe take a vacation ourselves because, talking every week, makes my throat a little dry. But
I'll drink some water.
Drink some water, yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll get going with episode 9 of season 1, which is Life in the Fast Lane.
In the Fast Lane.
Now, last episode, I didn't mention this to start the show, and I just want to just talk about it right now, just in case we got some new listeners. We do have a little flow to the episode. We start with the name of the episode, the air date, give you a quick recap, chronologically go through the episode.
Or as best as that we can.
The best that we can. Things that we like, things that we don't like. Some fun Easter eggs within the episode. We close it off with a little closing remarks and a grading of the episode, which I'll go over at the end. And then we give you a character profile. So without further ado, Life in the Fast Lane, and also known as Jacques to be Wild.
Jacques to be Wild.
Jacques to be Wild.
Jacques to be Wild. Because as we learned in the episode, his name is Jacques.
He's a player.
He's French.
He's French.
He's not a player. He's French.
So the air date for this episode, March 18th, 1990. To give you a quick recap, after Homer forgets Marge's birthday, it looks like their marriage is on the rocks after Marge starts going bowling by herself.
Marge does not bowl.
Marge does not bowl.
No.
Well, she does now, which you never see her, I don't think, ever bowl again.
I think there's a couple episodes. If you didn't already know, the title of this episode is based on the song Life in the Fast Lane by the Eagles. And I haven't actually listened to the song in a very long time, but I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with the lyrics.
Yeah. I mean, it seems really odd to...
And also my favorite quote from The Big Lebowski, turn off the Eagles, man. I don't like them. I'm paraphrasing it because there is some harsh language in it. So, but, screw the Eagles. Actually, they have some good songs.
But for a bowling episode, it is kind of funny to have a subtle reference with the Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if Big Lebowski came out
98,
98.
I
So
think.
let me see here. Big Lebowski.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Came out 98. You're right.
Oh, look at that.
So I can't necessarily say it's a future alert for The Simpsons based on the title of the episode being From the Eagles.
Yeah.
And the Big Lebowski using the quote where you should turn the Eagles off.
Yeah. I think it's a stretch. I think it's just a coincidence. It's a coincidence.
Fair enough. The Simpsons coincidence.
But that's not the name of the show. It's The Simpsons did it.
So no couch or chalkboard gag this week. But what I found interesting was that the opening was kind of a zoom in on the house with the credits. It just seemed really odd. Like,
it's definitely at a place. I know obviously there's been like one other episode that didn't do it. I mean, again, I think if you look at the episodes that don't have a couch gag, they're pretty heavy with the themes of the episode. Like, you know, Bart the General talked about war. And as we go through this one, we see that Homer and Marge's marriage is not as good as people think it might be. And so I think I'm wondering if they did it because it is a heavier episode. They wanted to dive right into it, give it a little bit more time, give it a little more, you know, room to breathe. Or they didn't have anything good. And they're just like, well, I guess we're just starting this episode then this week.
Yeah, let's get it going. The last episode lasted 23 minutes and 5 seconds. Yeah. This one we have to cut, shave some time off of this one.
Yeah.
We got to skip the couch gag and the chalkboard gag this week.
Yeah.
All right, so we open up, we learn that it's Marge's birthday. Yep. And Bart and Lisa are making breakfast for Marge.
Yep.
And messing up the kitchen, like, you know, kids will do. And then I do like the fact that Bart gets his tongue stuck in the beater.
But come on, who doesn't love... Now, here's the thing. They make pancakes. And as we see when they go up, they have pancakes. Who licks pancake batter?
I don't necessarily think you're supposed to. And okay. So my wife yells at me all the time when I try to use like a spoon or a whisk or something to stir the pancake batter. Apparently, you're supposed to use a fork.
See, I think growing up, we always used a whisk, though.
That's what I'm thinking. So,
I mean, our mom always made the pancakes. I hardly ever paid attention. But I'm pretty sure you could use a spoon or a whisk.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever used beaters either.
We have. Mom had beaters. I don't know if she still has them, but she used them. Not often. But she had electric beaters. I have electric beaters. I never use them because I don't bake. But, I mean, who doesn't love licking, you know, cake batter, brownie batter, or cookie batter off the spoon or the whisk? That I love to do. It's probably not healthy, but pancake batter, I can't imagine it tastes that good. Unless they bake cupcakes. I mean, it's possible they bake cupcakes.
Maybe. Well, I mean, Marge does like making cupcakes.
She does.
We did learn that. All right, so they go upstairs, and the first thing, Homer's like, oh, it's my birthday?
Like, you skipped something.
What?
Bart and Lisa compare the gifts. Bart got Marge a large bottle of French perfume, which I believe Bart said cost like $39 or $34. And Lisa made an incredible macaroni art picture of Marge. Like,
yes.
Freaking, like, I know she's smart, but man, is she talented.
Yeah.
I think the last time I made a macaroni picture when I was that age, it did not look like that.
No. But Bart was impressed that he got it for like $4 plus shipping from France, which I don't think is even remotely possible. No. But yeah, so sorry, I skipped ahead. So they go upstairs. Homer thinks it's his birthday, which Come on, you kind of should know what day it is if it's even remotely close to your birthday.
Now, don't get me wrong. I have forgotten our mother's birthday a couple times. Not her real birthday, mind you. But to be fair, they forgot my birthday once. So, you know.
But you don't forget your own birthday. That's the point.
Exactly.
Homer should know. Unless I don't know if we've ever seen a Homer birthday celebration on The Simpsons.
I thought we had.
Have we? Okay, we'll have to keep an eye out for that because obviously there's no physical date associated with Marge's birthday. It just turns out to be her birthday.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see if there is another birthday part or birthday episode for either Marge again, which would be interesting because we do learn how old she is, which
we'll get to that.
But I would love to know if there is another birthday party episode.
Maybe.
Because that would be interesting. I'd love to see that. And
also,
Homer is on the left side of the bed.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that.
Again.
My other question is, Homer thinks it's his birthday, but I don't think you've ever forgotten your wife's birthday.
No.
I'm pretty sure if I was married or in a relationship, I would do my best to make sure not to forget my partner's birthday. Well, because that's just rude and awful. And now we know Homer's not the greatest person and greatest husband in the world, but man, how do you forget your wife's birthday?
Yeah, and so then he does the whole, leaving a room and jumping into a car gag. Yeah. And we see this so many times on The Simpsons. I mean, in at least the first 13 seasons, Krusty does it.
Oh yeah.
Homer does it several times. I think Bart does it. Who is it? I know Lenny or Carl, I think, does it.
Yeah.
Someone with Mr. Burns does it.
It's a gag.
It's a gag. It's pretty funny.
So Homer saying, "Oh, I got you a gift. It's really awesome," and does the car gag. He goes to the mall and he parks in a no parking zone. And he leaves with the gift. How does your car not get towed?
I mean, there are signs everywhere that say "Do not park here."
But I love the fact. So this is 1990 again, and malls aren't as big as they were back then. I know obviously Minnesota has the Mall of America, and pretty much every bigger city has a mall. But I love the shops that he walks by. You have the International House of Answering Machines. Which I'm wondering if you get answering machine messages from around the world or answering machines made in different countries.
Maybe different countries.
You got the Jerky Hut, which I'd like to go to because I love me some good beef jerky.
Yeah, we have a store like that at the Mall of America.
You got the Ear Piercery, which I'm assuming is where people go to get their ears pierced and probably some other things pierced. The Caramel Corn.
Hold on. We didn't hear you.
No?
Your mic cut out.
Oh, man. You got the Ear Piercery, which, you go to probably get your ear pierced or other things pierced. You got the Caramel Corn Warehouse, which I love caramel corn. I kind of wish we had a caramel corn store here. So you got the Caramel Corn Warehouse, which I love caramel corn. I don't know if you love caramel corn.
Yes, it's very yummy.
And then Girdles and Such Fancy Lingerie. Which you think maybe Homer would have gone to that store, but he went to the bowling store.
Well, no. He said the lingerie store was too racy.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, I mean, but you forgot. I don't know. And then so we cut back to the house. Selma and Patty are there, and they're telling Marge what a horrible person Homer is, and how he only buys gifts for her, and apparently.
That was at Patty and Selma's house.
Oh, is that at their house? Yeah. And we still don't know if they live in Springfield.
Yeah, we don't. They go to the Singing Sirloin, which is in Springfield, I'm assuming.
But apparently a couple of the birthday presents Homer has bought for Marge include a tackle box and a Connie Chung calendar. And yes. I gotta say, those are some pretty awful gifts.
Yeah, and I did notice in the background at Patty and Selma's house that there is a picture of Bart hanging. I don't know if she has the rest of the Simpsons family.
I mean,
Maggie, a photo or anything. Maybe I would have loved to see a picture of the whole family, but a piece of tape over Homer's face or something.
Yeah.
Like Penny and Selma love everyone else except
Homer.
Homer. Well, they don't. They despise Homer. They think, oh, I mean, they even said, okay, you're only 34. You could start over.
Yeah. So, according to this episode, Marge is now 34 years old. And I know later on in a future episode, we learn Homer's age. And they're not too far off in age.
Yeah.
I won't say
So
what his age is. We'll get to that in that episode.
yep. So they eat dinner at the place called the Singing Sirloin, home of ballads and salads. And then if you look at the logo outside, it's a logo of a steak singing with a microphone, kind of like a
Ah,
Frank Sinatra.
I did not notice that. I was
Yeah.
not. I'm going to just say right now, this was a really weird episode for me to watch. I don't know what it was about this episode. Maybe it was because I was watching it at 11:30 at night after I just got home from work, but uh, we'll get to that at the end. It was not the best viewing experience of my life.
So Homer's bowling ball gets crushed, crushes the cake. How do you, okay, what staff, first of all, what staff brings out the gifts? Usually that would, like Homer handed his gift, but Lisa handed her gift. Why is the wait staff giving Homer's gift, and how did they get
No,
it?
Homer had his gift. He had it under the table. They brought
Oh,
out the cake.
oh, maybe it was just a trick of the camera. It looked like they were holding the box for the gift over the cake.
No,
Was
Homer
it Homer?
was.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because then the bowling ball falls out the bottom and crushes the cake.
Yep. So they have a big argument when they get home. And Marge is like, you know what? I'm going to use the ball. And Homer's
Yep.
like, you don't even bowl. And that's when, lights flicker in Homer's head. Oh crap! I got a crappy gift.
Yeah.
What am I doing? And so this is kind of the second act of the episode. This is where kind of everything starts kind of falling apart. Marge is just flat out ignoring Homer
Yeah.
the rest of the episode. Like, what are you doing? And now she's going bowling.
Yeah. She goes to the new Barney's Bolorama because as we did you happen to remember the episode that burned down in? Was that the
I mean, it was only a couple episodes ago, like 3 or 4.
but it burned down and now they have a new Barney's Bolorama, which I also found out is not actually owned by Barney. And I don't know if I think they do this in a episode further down, but it's owned by his uncle.
Yes, but
Because the
Barney,
writers didn't feel that Barney would be well off enough to actually own something.
but he works there, or at
Yeah.
least did at the old Barney's Bolorama. But I think I figured out. So Marge's shoe size 13 AA,
Yep.
which that leads me. I want to know what Sideshow Bob's shoes are, because I mean, if she has 13s, Sideshow Bob's got to be like 57s. I don't know. I mean, those are some big ass feet. So,
Yeah.
but here's the funny. They only had a 9 and a 15 shoe, which granted now that makes sense. If they burnt down the bowling alley, they might just
Yeah.
not have all the shoes but they built that bowling alley fast.
Yeah, they did.
They built that thing up. They're like, we got to get people up bowling. Got to build this thing back. I don't think we ever really saw, aside from Homer's job at the Bolorama when he left the power plant.
Yeah.
We didn't see much of it. Definitely looks a little bigger on the inside. Maybe more lanes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jacques makes his first appearance.
And only
And
appearance?
I'm assuming, I can't remember him. Maybe he was like in a screenshot on another episode. Maybe not.
But he's voiced by Albert Brooks. And for all of our listeners out there, any of you've seen Finding Nemo, he is the voice of Marlin in Finding Nemo. I was trying to find a popular character that everybody would know Albert Brooks from, and yeah, he's Marlin from Finding Nemo.
That's crazy. I did not know Albert Brooks could do a really awful French accent.
Apparently, oh, dude, it's Albert Brooks, man. He voices a lot of characters on this show.
Yeah, but that's just a weird one to me.
Yeah.
So Marge is obviously off doing her thing. She was bowling. Homer is left to take care of the kids.
Yep.
And on night 1, hot pizza was the dinner of choice. And, and according to Homer, it's the food of kings.
I mean, who doesn't love some hot pizza? Don't get me wrong. I eat cold pizza for breakfast if I have leftovers, but nothing beats a hot pizza.
Yep. And like Homer has a checklist. So Marge, they might not be speaking, but Marge definitely left a checklist.
Oh, yeah.
And step 1 was dinner.
Yep.
Step 2 was
Clean
clean up. And so it's like, it'll take an army or take all of us to do this. And they do a service line to throw out the box. But then if you notice, Bart and Homer
appear twice.
And appear twice at the end.
My other question is, do you really need all of you to throw out the box?
Well, Homer's lazy, so yes.
I suppose. And I guess you don't want to start an argument, oh, who's going to throw out the box? Everybody does it.
Yep. And so flashback to the lanes for Jacques and Marge's either second or third lesson.
Yeah.
Jacques is telling him that, telling Marge, we gotta respect the lane, hear the lane.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you go to a bowling alley and you start like crawling and walking on the lane, you get thrown out.
Well, I mean, he is the bowling pro at the lanes. Maybe they give him permission, but you're not supposed to walk on the lanes. It'll screw up the oil patterns and
exactly
and stuff. So, but also if you look at Marge bowling for the very first time when she's hucking the ball down the lane, one, don't huck the ball down the lane.
No, don't
do that. And 2, you're not supposed to step over the line. But if you look at the artwork of the bowling alley, the line, the foul line, looks like it's like right up against the chairs in the table where you write the score. It looks like there's no walk-up point. It's really, really drawn weird. And
I thought it was also interesting. Granted, we're in the first season of The Simpsons, but they had the paper score sheets, not the electronic.
I mean,
you bowled. Did you ever use the paper score sheets?
Oh yeah, up until maybe the early 90s. I mean, Castle Inns and the other one, we always hand scored.
Okay. I don't ever remember hand scoring, but I probably never kept track of the scores, so.
Yeah, we hand scored. So it was definitely in the early 90s. We were hand scoring. So that's Simpsons didn't predict that, I guess. Well, hand scoring has always been around, I guess.
Yeah, they didn't predict anything. They were just using what they had. Now, if they had used electronic scoring, I mean...
No, I don't think so.
No?
Well, maybe. I guess take a quick peek while I go on the next one.
Okay.
So after that, also I didn't have another thing. So it must be really hard to bowl with 3 fingers. Only 3 fingers.
They have 4 fingers though, don't they?
Yeah. So when you normally bowl, you bowl with your 2 middle fingers, your ring in your middle finger, and your thumb.
Yeah.
And you kind of use your pointer and your pinky kind of more as balance on the ball. But I don't know. I feel like it'd be really, really hard to bowl. I don't know. I guess I didn't even think about that. I guess you bowl with 3 fingers and your 4th one is, I don't know. I guess they figured it out.
So apparently, an automatic score in bowling is the computerized scoring system was introduced into bowling alleys and combined with mechanical pin setters in the 70s. But the bowlers did not trust it, so they kept their own scores. So they've actually been around for a really long time.
So maybe I'm thinking wrong. Maybe our alleys did. No. I know there was one alley that did not have electronic scoring. Remember in school, like the clear plastic and then it shot it up on the board? What was that called? Where you put the clear thing on the light table and then you write on it, it blows up big on the wall.
Projector screen?
No, it's the name of the physical machine.
For what?
What was it? That you put the clear plastic on, and then you wrote with those washable markers.
A projector screen.
No, it's not what it was called.
But a 60-lane bowling center in Chicago installed the first automatic score in 1967.
Wow.
Okay. So they've been around for 53 years. So in the early 90s, I mean, again, bowlers did not trust the automatic scores. So I guess I could see Barney's Bowlerama having to use the score sheets.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just don't think they wanted to spend the money.
No.
Like I said, a bowling alley I went to in the '90s, we didn't have automatic scoring yet, so I
Yeah.
think I'm thinking of that wrong. Castle Lanes did. The other one I went to over my grandma's house, that one did.
Uh, and you mentioned how did Marge get to the bowling alley?
Yes. Okay, so
Taxi?
maybe, but doesn't she does she not have her station wagon?
I don't know. Or maybe she left the station wagon at the bowling alley, which would seem really irresponsible. But
Yeah.
I did notice, I don't know if you noticed this, but the moon in the sky looks like a bowling ball.
Yes, the three holes.
Yeah.
Yep. The moon behind them when Jacques is hitting on Marge and
Yep.
hey, we got to go out without prying eyes and go to the house or go to a shop, coffee shop.
Yeah.
And I
No,
don't think we've ever seen Shorty's coffee shop before.
I don't think
Like
we've
that.
seen it again.
No, but it's obviously. I wonder if it's like kind of on the outskirts of Springfield. Oh, I guess Helen Lovejoy goes there, so it can't be. You
So,
know,
as Jacques is wooing Marge, he tells her about brunch, and she's like, "What's
this is
brunch?" And
one
he
of my
goes,
favorite lines.
"I
Favorite
know
line of the episode.
it's not quite breakfast, it's not quite lunch, but it comes with a slice of cantaloupe at the end. You don't get completely what you would get at breakfast, but you get a good meal." And
Yes,
I mean, I love
I don't. I don't necessarily like this episode, but that is a damn good line.
that is a very good line.
And so before she leaves, now I think the day and night of this episode is kind of weird.
Yeah,
It seems kind of weird. But Marge, when she's saying goodbye to Lisa and Bart in the morning, it must have been
yeah.
in the morning.
Well, because she gives them a lunch and like she
Yep.
gives Lisa a toy and like gives them
I mean,
candy, and
this is
Lisa understands what's going on. Bart is oblivious because Bart's Homer's kid.
yep, and
Uh,
he's in denial. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not.
okay, I guess I'm wrong.
But yeah, I mean, Marge really just hits it hard. Like, I mean, this is a
Yeah,
hard hit episode where it's
it
like
is.
I'm sort of having an affair, and it's kind of borderline.
It's a
Have
borderline
an affair,
emotional affair, not a physical one.
but it almost makes it seem like also on the flip side, like they're divorced. Like it doesn't. I mean, they're not divorced, but it almost makes it seem like, especially in Lisa's mind,
Yeah,
you know, we're getting the nice treatment from mom because the marriage could be ending, and dad's
yeah.
oblivious. He just has.
Well, we don't know if Homer is oblivious. I think Homer is sad because he upset his wife and he doesn't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
He's oblivious to the fact that Marge is seeing another guy until later on. We'll get to that. But, um, you know, it's it's not a good situation. And as you mentioned before, they go to brunch at Shorty's coffee shop, and Jacques is like, "Oh, do you want me to order you a mimosa?" And Marge is like, "Don't call me that." Uh,
Yeah.
and it's like, "No, Marge, a mimosa is a drink."
Yeah. And so then we see Helen Lovejoy, the gossipy wife of Revan Lovejoy.
Yep.
And she's like, I was trying to say, "Oh, what are you doing?" And Marge is like, what do I do?" And Jock's like, "Oh, this is a bowling.
Yeah.
This is a bowling
Okay.
demonstration." Now it's weird because must have just showed up in Springfield when the Bolorama reopened. Because, I mean, Helen Lovejoy obviously doesn't know who this guy is.
Or maybe she does, and she's like,
No,
"Oh, why is Marge hanging out with this bachelor?"
maybe. And then, so then he's like, "Well, now I want you to come to my house," and she
Yeah.
faints and she has a dream.
Which is a dance number from The Gate Divorcee, which I have no idea what that is. I think it's
No.
from the 70s.
And then I do like how Jacques has trophies for lovemaking in Marge's dream. Like, what is going on in Marge's head that she thinks that this
He's
guy is
French.
because he's French? I
He's
mean, I guess she
French.
knows a lot about French.
Yep. She does think they're bowling trophies at first, though.
Yeah.
Which is also weird because it's a dream. Like, I don't know.
And he lives in this giant, palace, even though his like house is actually like an apartment. like she thinks like the Vista Terra or something.
Hold on, I wrote it down. I don't think I wrote it in my note in these notes though.
No, but it was like the Vista Terrace or something. Sounds like that's why she fainted. Like she was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is so luxurious. Oh my god!" But it turns out it's like just like a single living.
I guess I didn't write it down.
So, and then Homer finds the bowling glove for Jacques, or from Jacques that Marge gave him with his realization that his marriage is in trouble, and then Bart comes in like, "All right, Dad, let's go in the backyard and play," because Bart's still oblivious to, or Homer's still kind of oblivious, or Bart's still kind of oblivious to the situation.
Did you get your thoughts straight there?
I did, yes, thank you. And then so they go out, and Bart throws a fastball and conks Homer out.
And then Bart realizes something's wrong because Homer didn't even say ouch, and Homer is like, "Homer, you didn't even say ouch." He goes, "Ouch."
Ouch. And so it's one of those things like Homer's like, what do I do? And he kind of gives the peanut butter jelly speech.
Yeah.
Before Marge heads out to supposedly the Jacques' house.
Now, I got to comment on the peanut butter jelly speech because, I like to put the peanut butter on first and then the jelly, but I like to spread the jelly as close to the edge as possible. Because Marge
doesn't go over the edge though.
No, but she keeps it perfectly in the middle.
Well, when you squish the sandwich down, that's why the jelly goes everywhere, is because you squish it down. And she's so good that when you squish down the sandwich, the jelly stays right there.
Yeah,
but Homer likes it about her. Homer, but that was his attempt at. But it really hit Marge.
Yeah, but I like in that scene before where Bart was like, "Oh, don't open your mouth; you'll only make a situation worse." And Homer's like, "Well, where did you hear that?" And he's like, "From you." And Homer doesn't heed his own advice, but he doesn't make the situation worse, as we'll find out in a few minutes.
Yep. And so Marge heads out, but before Marge gets there, you see Jacques like kind of getting all ready, getting the lotion or face stuff on, after shaving, getting all ready. But what he says is he's going to strike out tonight. Now, I wrote most likely that's a bowling joke, but Marge never.
Yeah. So it's a two-edged sword there, because if you strike out in bowling, you did really well. But if you strike out in a relationship, you failed. So in a way, he was right.
Yes. But it was really funny that, I mean, he obviously doesn't know that she's not going. I guess even us as the viewer, we don't know which direction she is going to go. Yeah. But that line, because based on that, I knew the episode and she obviously wasn't going there. That was kind of the fun part about the quote.
Yeah.
Is he's like, "I'm going to strike out tonight," but he's thinking, "Oh, I'm going to nail her and she's going to leave her husband and we're going to live our life together." But in reality, he struck out. He didn't get her.
Yeah. And then we go, before we see which way Marge drives to, we go back to the plant. They're eating lunch, and we get our first appearance of Lenny Leonard, who is an awesome character. And Lenny says to Homer, "Aren't you hungry, Homer?" And he goes, "Yeah, very hungry," but he's not eating because he's depressed.
Well, the sandwich reminds him of Marge.
Oh, that's right.
That's why he doesn't eat it.
Yeah.
And then he's worried. I don't understand his new job as a safety inspector, because now he's like working on the line.
Yeah.
Something with nuclear something. I don't know how that happened, because I thought he was supposed to sit at his console being safety inspector, but apparently part of his job description is actual working with nuclear waste, which I would not trust.
No,
I don't want to trust him with safety either, but at least he's not physically touching the stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marge surprises Homer at work after she picks Homer over Jacques and
Yeah,
walks up.
well,
Now,
but on her way to Jacques, as she's driving, she sees a couple getting married. She sees an old couple. She sees a younger couple after they got married with kids, and then she drives past a graveyard where there's a dead couple, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And so she gets to a fork in a road where she goes to the power plant, and then she's like, "No, I'm going to go to Jacques," and then she just sits there, and it fades out, and I think that's, it's a good point in the episode because you don't know which way is she going to go. I think everybody who watched that episode assumed she was going to pick Homer, but it's like, but does she? Granted, The Simpsons doesn't work without Marge, obviously, but, for suspense in a cartoon, it's pretty good.
And I do love the fact that there's absolutely zero security at the plant.
Oh, yeah.
Like, nuclear power plant. If I was the Russians watching this episode, I'd be like, hey, you know
Let's
what?
try it.
Let's try it. Let's just walk in and steal some uranium.
Yeah.
And that inanimate carbon rod, which we'll learn about later.
Yeah.
That Homer keeps stealing from work when he drives home every night.
By the way, I know this is going back to the credits, but since you mentioned it, you see in the background of the credits a guy eating a sandwich with like a clamp thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's unsafe because it looks like Homer's like working in an area.
Yep. And then decides to leave.
Yeah.
With the rod. It's all. I just thought it was funny that Marge could just walk into a nuclear power plant without any fuss whatsoever.
So she picks Homer, surprises him. Homer and Marge walk out with her in his arms. I've never seen An Officer and a Gentleman, but that is the scene they are parodying. And as they're leaving, you hear an instrumental version of Up Where We Belong playing. And as they're walking out, an employee goes, "What should we tell Burns?" And Homer goes, "Tell him I'm going to the back seat of my car with the woman I love, and I won't be back for 10 minutes, which is also apparently a line from An Officer and a Gentleman. I don't think it's verbatim, but I've never seen the movie, so.
Boy, Homer's like, no foreplay. Let's just hop in the back seat and go.
Oh, man.
Maybe. I don't know. At least he didn't say 5 minutes.
Oh. Oh. So, this episode.
Final thoughts. Man, I just, after watching this episode again, it just irked me. Like, there are definitely other episodes in the Simpsons mythology where Homer and Marge have their tiffs and have their, scuffs, but this one just irked me. Like, I don't know what it is about. It's just, with all the funny stuff within this episode,
yeah,
it bugged me. Like, Jacques' character just bugged me to no end.
So for you first-time listeners, or for anybody who doesn't remember, before Steve gives his grade, we do a grading scale 1 to 5. 1 being dough, 5 being everything is coming up Millhouse, and in the middle we got 2. 2 eat my shorts. I almost combined 2 and 3. 3 is don't have a cow man, and 4 sprinkles. So I think I know where you're going with this, but what are you rating this episode?
I'm going dough. Like, I just don't. Episode irks me. I know it's early on. I know. I would love to give it Eat My Shorts just because of some of the comedy in it, but just as an overall episode, just overall the whole thing, I'll go with dough.
This episode apparently doesn't irk me as much as it irks you, but it's as I said in the middle of this podcast, as I said before we started recording, I had a hard time watching this episode. I'm not 100% sure why. It wasn't. I mean, it was a very darker episode of The Simpsons. Some of the comedy was really good. I like some of the comedy.
And I'm not raising my dough because of that brunch line.
I love the brunch line.
Okay, you know what? All right, here's what we're gonna do. I am giving the brunch line, and everything is coming up Millhouse. The rest of the episode gets a dough.
I mean, some of it's really good. It does. It has. I mean, I can't give it a dough. But I'm gonna go with a eat my shorts. It doesn't. It's not a good episode in my opinion. It really didn't age well. Also, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I mean, some of the themes are really good. Some of the comedy is really good. I love the brunch line. I think that's what really gives it an eat my shorts. If they didn't have the brunch line, it's getting a dough for me. I'm going to use the brunch line to elevate it to eat my shorts.
That's why I separated it.
But I mean, oh God, it's not a good episode.
All right, that's good. All right, so let's close it out with something that we love doing on this show, the character profile.
And before you even begin, I love how you pick the character that you don't even like.
Well, it's his only appearance. I have to give him some kind of love.
Fair.
So his name is Jacques. We're gonna give Jacques his
Jacques Brunswick, by the way.
No, it's not his full name. Brunswick is Marge. He called her Homer because that's the name on the ball. Brunswick is just the company that makes the ball. He didn't monogram his ball or whatever with his name. Brunswick is actually a company that makes bowling balls.
Yeah, see, you learn something I'm gonna look because I'm pretty sure I got that from Wikipedia.
Well, Wikipedia is wrong. Because you can trust Wikipedia on everything. Anyway, so his occupation is professional bowling instructor at Barney's new Bowlerama. Characteristics: he's tall, has a thick accent, and he's suave. Which, kind of. I mean, he definitely would over Marge. Yeah, but the Wikipedia is wrong.
It's from a Simpsons fandom page.
Well, the Simpson fan guy is wrong.
Okay, it does say Jacques on here.
So, his favorite look is heavy-lidded lounge lizard expression. That's his favorite look, which is really funny. I do love that. The look that he gives, it's like his beady eyes, mouth. It's just heavy-lidded lounge lizard expression. That's his favorite look. Yeah, I know. That's why I kept talking. For bowling knowledge, he knows what the little arrows on the wood floor mean. Now, I've been bowling forever. I don't think I know that's where you should throw your ball at a certain angle and give it a little hook and spin. I don't know exactly. Maybe that's their meaning, but I don't know. How to make a 5-7-10 split. Now, to actually have a 5-7-10 split is almost impossible to even bowl.
Because the 5 is the middle pin. What's the one split that nobody really can make? Is that a 4-10?
No, that's a 7-10.
Okay.
So to have the 5 pin in there, I would love to see how he makes that. And also, which frame is the beer frame? As an adult bowler, every frame is the beer frame. Unless it's kind of like a golf joke where, you got the 19th hole.
Oh.
And the beer frame is after you're all
I think, I could be wrong, but I think the beer frame is the 5th frame.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Okay. He does have a fan club, and apparently he's the only bowler in all of Springfield with groupies.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I don't know. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen any other bowling episode with Homer and the gang and that they have groupies.
I mean, they have the episode. They have a few bowling episodes, but yeah, I don't remember them having groupies.
Yeah. Typical charge, $40 for a lesson, but only $25 for Marge.
Yeah.
Because, he's giving them that discount.
Yeah.
And the decor in his home, at least in Marge's dream, is trophies abound for his lovemaking prowess.
Oh man, he's French.
So he is French. He is French. So I would love to see what his real decor looks like, but Marge's decor makes him seem like a really, really sexy French guy.
Yes.
So,
where can the people listen to us?
Yeah, that does it for this episode. So, last episode, episode 8, I forgot to mention it, but if you're avid fans of The Simpsons Did It, you knew where to go. But for all of us new listeners, head over to Facebook, type in The Simpsons Did It into the groups, or I'm sorry, pages, and you'll find our page. And you can follow us there. And every week, for those of you that do follow, I do Saturdays. So things that Homer says do to. And I do Mondays. And I've also been doing Trivia Tuesdays. Doing some Simpson trivia. Don't have anything for Wednesday and Thursday and Friday yet. So if you guys have suggestions on types of posts you would like to see from The Simpsons, let me know. But I think
I might have a good idea. I don't know what day I would do it, but for all our listeners out there, we love to collect the Funko Pops, and I do have 2 of the original Simpsons Pops, so maybe I will do something with my Homer Pop. Maybe I'll hide them, spot the Homer.
Spot the Homer, spot the Krusty.
Spot the Krusty.
Ooh, could be good. Well, we'll talk in the background about that.
Yeah.
See what we can do. As far as listening, we're available everywhere you can hear podcasts at this point.
Yes.
If you do want to hear our podcast on a certain app and for some reason we're not on it, shoot us a message on Facebook and we'll do our best to get ourselves on there. You can also follow us on Instagram at The Simpsons Did It Pod to check out all our posts on there. So until next time, or to be even more specific, until next Sunday.
There you go.
I am Steven Skolansky.
Excellent. I'm Robert Skolansky.
And this has been The Simpsons Did It.